Welcome to another episode of Behind the Yellow Tape. Today we're unravelling the shocking case of Dee Dee Blanchard and her daughter Gypsy Rose. Our story takes us to a seemingly peaceful corner of Springfield, Missouri, where the Blanchard family lived. In this picturesque neighbourhood, Dee Dee Blanchard and her daughter Gypsy Rose shared a home. To outsiders, their relationship appeared to be the epitome of unconditional love between a mother and her child. Dee Dee was a doting mother who seemed to spare no effort in caring for her daughter Gypsy. But behind closed doors, this seemingly ordinary mother-daughter relationship was anything but. It was a facade, a charade that Dee Dee meticulously crafted to deceive everyone around them. Dee Dee's claims were nothing short of extraordinary. She told friends, family and the world that Gypsy suffered from an array of severe and life-threatening illnesses. These included leukemia, muscular dystrophy and epilepsy. Gypsy's life was a never-ending cycle of medical appointments, treatments and surgeries, all under the watchful eye of her devoted mother. Gypsy's appearance matched her alleged illnesses. Her head was perpetually shaved, a symbol of the numerous medical interventions she endured. She was confined to a wheelchair and appeared frail, a heartbreaking sight that garnered sympathy and support from their community and well-wishers from afar. The heart-wrenching story of Dee Dee and Gypsy Rose tugged at the heartstrings of those who heard it. Strangers were moved to offer financial assistance, gifts and even free housing to help the mother and daughter cope with their daunting medical challenges. They were also treated to various vacations and trips by charitable organisations, including a visit to Disneyland and a trip to a Harry Potter themed attraction. Dee Dee Blanchard's deception was not limited to the public image she projected. It extended into every aspect of her and Gypsy's lives. Her intricate web of lies ran deep, ensnaring not just friends and family but even seasoned medical professionals. Dee Dee's manipulation was so convincing that it left experts baffled. She went to great lengths to ensure that Gypsy's fabricated illnesses were perceived as genuine medical conditions. Her elaborate ruse included falsified medical records, carefully rehearsed stories and a seemingly endless list of ailments that she claimed her daughter suffered from. But how did she manage to get away with deceiving medical professionals? Dee Dee would frequently change doctors and medical facilities, often moving to different cities or states. This prevented any single healthcare provider from gaining a complete and accurate picture of Gypsy's medical history. The mother, if you can call her that, was known to create fake documents, including medical records and birth certificates, to support her false claims about Gypsy's illnesses. She was skilled at mimicking official documents to make her story seem more believable. Dee Dee would carefully select and share only certain aspects of Gypsy's medical history with each healthcare provider. This allowed her to control the narrative and prevent any one doctor from questioning the validity of her claims. She was said to be skilled at manipulating medical professionals. She presented herself as a devoted and caring mother, and her charm often disarmed suspicions. Healthcare providers, like many others who encountered the Blanchards, wanted to help the seemingly vulnerable child and her mother. Dee Dee would take Gypsy to countless doctors, specialists and hospitals, all under the guise of treating her severe conditions. These medical experts, bound by their ethical duty to care for their patients, fell victim to Dee Dee's deception. They prescribed medications, performed surgeries, and administered treatments that were not only unnecessary but potentially harmful for Gypsy's actual health. Here's an actual image of a medicine cabinet in Gypsy's home containing medication that she was forced to take but didn't need, including anti-seizure medications, anti-allergy medications, mood stabilizers for the bipolar she didn't actually have, pain medications, and psychotropic medications. Gypsy had a feeding tube surgically inserted into her abdomen, which was unnecessary as she was capable of eating normally. This feeding tube was used to administer nutrition and medications. She underwent surgery to have her salivary glands removed. This was not medically justified. Gypsy had multiple teeth extracted. This was done under the false pretense of dental issues related to her fabricated medical conditions. She also had her appendix removed, although there was no medical necessity for the procedure, as well as eye muscle surgery, which again was not medically justified. Gypsy received chemotherapy for leukemia, a condition she did not actually have. These treatments caused her to lose her hair, contributing to the illusion that she was severely ill. She was put on a ventilator and given breathing treatments, which she didn't need. She underwent physical therapy sessions to address her alleged muscular dystrophy. These sessions were unnecessary as she did not have the condition. One of the most striking aspects of this deception was Gypsy's appearance. Her head was kept shaved and her wheelchair-bound existence added to the illusion of a young girl struggling with debilitating illnesses. Dee Dee's manipulation manipulation was so convincing that even neighbours and acquaintances couldn't see through the facade. Let's look in detail at some of the abuse that Gypsy suffered at the hands of her so-called mother. It was reported that Dee Dee would hit Gypsy when she didn't comply with her demands or when she attempted to challenge the fabricated illnesses. Dee Dee isolated Gypsy from the outside world. She controlled Gypsy's interactions with friends and family, often prevented her from forming meaningful relationships outside the home. Gypsy's social life was severely restricted. Gypsy endured extreme psychological abuse. She was manipulated into believing she was truly sick and dependent on her mother for survival. Dee Dee convinced Gypsy that she had a mental disability, leading her to believe she was not capable of making decisions for herself. Gypsy was also confined to her home. Her mother controlled every aspect of her life, from what she ate to when she slept. Gypsy had no freedom or independence. She was often forced to use a wheelchair, even though she was capable of walking. Gypsy was denied a proper education. Her mother claimed she was too ill to attend school, and as a result, Gypsy remained uneducated for most of her life. Gypsy lived in constant fear of her mother. Dee Dee would threaten her with violence or punishment if she ever tried to reveal the truth about her actual health or challenged her mother's control. Dee Dee's actions in this case align with a rare and disturbing psychological disorder known as Munchausen syndrome by proxy. This condition involves a caregiver, typically a parent, fabricating or including physical or psychological symptoms in another person, often their child, to garner sympathy, attention, or even financial gain. It's a twisted form of abuse that often goes unnoticed until serious harm occurs. The medical community at large was not well informed about Munchausen syndrome by proxy or the red flags associated with it during the time this deception was ongoing. As a result, healthcare providers were less likely to recognise the signs of abuse. The year was 2015. Gypsy was 23 years old at this point, and the charade orchestrated by Dee Dee Blanchard was about to crumble. In the quiet Springfield neighbourhood, a shocking turn of events would set in motion a chain of events that would baffle the community and law enforcement. It all began with an eerie and unexpected development on Blanchard's social media account. A Facebook post, unlike anything their friends and supporters had ever seen, appeared for all to see. It read, in stark, chilling words, "That bitch is dead." The online proclamation sent shockwaves through their circle of friends and well-wishers. For a mother-daughter pair who had presented themselves as inseparable, the sentiment behind those words was inconceivable. Friends and acquaintances were left bewildered and horrified by the sudden turn of events, and they quickly reported the post to authorities. Law enforcement sprang into action, and in a matter of hours they arrived at the Blanchard residence. What they encountered inside would forever alter the perception of this seemingly innocent family. Dee Dee Blanchard, the woman who had orchestrated this elaborate illusion, was found lifeless in her home. The community, which had rallied around the Blanchards for years, was now stunned into disbelief. The very person they believed to be Gypsy's devoted caregiver and protector had met a gruesome end. It was a shocking twist in a tale that had captured the hearts of those who knew them and the curiosity of many others who had followed their story from afar. With Dee Dee's lifeless body as the epicenter of this bizarre case, law enforcement found themselves facing a complex puzzle. What had transpired within the walls of the Blanchard home? Why had the facade of a loving mother-daughter duo given way to such a gruesome outcome? The investigation had only just begun, and it would reveal the dark secrets behind the yellow tape. The revelation came from the most unexpected source, Gypsy Rose Blanchard herself. She had lived as a prisoner of her mother's lies, a life fabricated by Dee Dee's relentless manipulation. But now, with law enforcement closing in, Gypsy chose to break her silence and lay bare the shocking truth. Gypsy Rose confessed to her involvement in the murder of Dee Dee. Her confession sent shockwaves through the investigation, and it was a moment that would forever alter the narrative of this twisted story. Gypsy revealed that she had taken an unthinkable step of plotting her own mother's demise. But the question that haunted investigators and the public was why? Why would a daughter conspire to kill her own mother, the person who was supposed to be her protector? The answer lay in the horrifying reality of Gypsy's life. She believed that it was the only way to escape a lifetime of physical and psychological abuse, a life dictated by her mother's relentless manipulation and control. Gypsy Rose had orchestrated her escape plan with the help of her then-boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn. Together, they executed a chilling act that would bring an end to Dee Dee's reign of deception and cruelty. Gypsy's confession was a pivotal moment in the case, shedding light on the depths of her desperation and the haunting truth behind the mother-daughter relationship that had captivated the nation. In 2016, the courtroom held its breath as Gypsy Rose Blanchard, the young woman who had once been hailed as a victim, stood before the judge and made a stunning admission. She pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in connection with the death of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard. The gavel fell, and Gypsy was convicted, receiving a 10-year prison sentence. Gypsy's conviction was a turning point in a case that had captivated the nation. It raised profound and complex questions about caregiver abuse, the limits of victimhood, and the role of mental health in criminal cases. Was Gypsy truly a perpetrator, or had she been pushed to commit these heinous acts by years of manipulation and abuse at the hands of her mother? Here's a Facebook post which was posted after the attack by a supposed family member claiming to be Dee Dee's niece. The post provides evidence that even their own family were suspicious of Dee Dee's behaviour towards Gypsy since being a small child. On one side, there were those who believed that Gypsy had played an active role in planning and executing the murder, making her a perpetrator in the eyes of the law. They argued that regardless of her upbringing and the psychological trauma she had endured, she should be held accountable for her actions. On the other side were those who saw Gypsy as a victim, first and foremost. They contended that she had been subjected to a lifetime of abuse and psychological manipulation at the hands of Dee Dee, leading her to take desperate measures in an attempt to escape her tormentor. To them, Gypsy's actions were not those of cold-blooded murder, but of a deeply traumatised young woman driven to the brink. Gypsy's case ignited a national conversation about the complexities of abuse, the role of mental health in criminal cases, and the need for a nuanced understanding of victimhood. It served as a stark reminder that the justice system must grapple with cases that defy easy categorisation. Nicholas Godijon, Gypsy's then boyfriend, was sentenced to life in prison for his role in the murder. The method used to kill Dee Dee was stabbing. Nicholas carried out the act wielding a knife. As Gypsy began her prison sentence, the questions surrounding her case continued to linger, leaving a profound impact on both the legal landscape and the public opinion. The story of Dee Dee and Gypsy Rose Blanchard remains one of the most haunting and thought-provoking crime sagas of our time, challenging our perceptions of guilt, innocence, and the blurred lines that exist between them. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Behind the Yellow Tape. If you found this story as intriguing as we did, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell.